And then I'm hitting that and knocking the center out of the way. The feeling is like I'm connecting to my center. So it's not an athletic thing with your arms. It's a feeling of kind of solidarity with your shape. And then when I make the second inflection, the same thing. It's like it's coming from here. So it's like I make these connections. Real slow again. Super slow. So if I drape, I'm feeling I'm going through him, I drop my heaviness. Just connect, like little contraction towards my center and get heavy. And then I'm pushing with my frame. So that's a lot different than trying to athletically manipulate a partner. Just like your karate doesn't want to be like a shoulder athletic effort. It's a more through the ground feeling. Whatever you're doing is like connect. Connect. So this is exactly the same feeling. So I come in with this, yeah. Just feel that connection. You follow what I'm saying? So it's like it kind of gets distilled down to just what's happening, the connection of our centers, as opposed to all this peripheral stuff like your upper body. It's just finding connection with your partner. Just connect. Connect. So you can try it one more time. That feeling. Thing kind of like a punch. And then again, if there's any resistance in the movement, like you feel like you're not catching the center, then just default. And try to keep a good connection to your, okay? So, going in. Even if I'm looking here, I'm not looking on the surface. I'm looking, feeling as I'm through him. The biggest thing you got to get away from is sort of reactive action. Instead, you just want to kind of connect. Just connect and put your center forward. So just going in. Any resistance. And then keeping your broad sense of your perception. Okay. Good job with that. And like you're dodging at the same time. So instead of being like 1, 2, you use a little bit of that plyometric to the floor. That ceiling. So just bend a little bit, to the board, in, make the connection. So when you do it, just feel like you're using the earth. So there's like, when you're younger, when I was younger, we tend to rely on our strengths, like our athleticism. And so my karate was pretty athletic, I guess, when I was in my 30s, but now at 64, I think you can still have dynamism, but you want a level of efficiency where you're not muscling everything. You're just finding the right timing to the technique. It's totally different. Just unifying your feeling of your body, as opposed to feeling like you're grabbing and throwing your partner. If you can marry those two things, like I would say you still want a well-performing body in all the things that we think of as, speed, flexibility, balance, but then marry that with correct technique. That's why the art of karate practice is you're not at the apex when you're 25, 29, somewhere in there, where most people, because the technique takes a long time to develop. So it's sort of the marriage. You're still physical, but you have a few decades of practice behind you. Does that make sense? Right? So, yeah, I would rely on those core principles and feel how they're in everything. Like when I'm using the earth to push off in that sort of stepping motion, that's no different than I'm using the earth when I'm punching. So when you punch, it's not just your arm, it's not just the turning of your hip, but I'm pushing off the earth. So part of why this hip is going forward is I'm pushing. Part of why I'm going in is because I'm pushing. But my carriage is relaxed. Okay? Try that one. You're in my body. This is like a frame right here. So you want to be careful if you don't maybe do this. You don't come in and have your arm back here. And then now you've kind of lost the momentum of your step, and then you're trying to apply your arm sort of out of sync. it's basically a boundary that I can't quite negotiate. That's the idea. It's like he's coming at me and I'm just inserting a wedge in that space. I'm feeling like that. So it's just like, which I say is not much different. But this is, think of a lot of your karate as establishing boundaries. Like if I'm making Zen Butsudachi, this side is making a boundary. And then when I punch, I'm squeezing this boundary against that boundary. If this wasn't established, then part of my energy is diffused, goes across the room. So a lot of times just by virtue of our shape, we're able to kind of drive energy in a particular direction. So I don't want to step and have my spigot this open. I want that to be nice and tight, right? So that when he comes in, basically, into that spigot. Are you following that? Oh, you're creating shapes by internally how you're connecting. That's why I would say Zen Butsudachi this is a really unique feeling. It's like, boom. It's not just my knee over my toe, it's a boom. That's my butt. The side of my leg is holding this boundary strong. And this side squeezes against that side. Whatever I'm doing, it's like this is some fluid substance and I'm squeezing into the front, including my shoulders are making that happen, including my fist is making that happen, all kind of running off the conduit of my breath. That feeling like that. Okay, I try one more time. Another way. So either he's making an advance on me and I'm putting my hand up, or I'm making an advance on him and he puts his hand up. But in either case, doesn't matter, we find ourselves here. So when you do that, you want to do it with this, not shoulder feeling, but like, this very relaxed connection, like that. So try this. Have a little connection here, and then, so you feel this little bit of biofeedback. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of release that and kind of go in a little bit and try to create that shape in my partner. So it's a connect, and I feel that energy, and basically I'm just going to release that energy. And as I release the energy, that's kind of affecting my body actually dropping in at the same time. So I'm accomplishing both those things. Later, it can happen without even connecting because there'll be an anticipated point of contact. So and then I'm going to try. So I kind of create that shape in my immediately. And then I just come in and rest. So super slow. So connect, release, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in, step in. And this could be a strike, could be a defense, but the feeling is like the same kind of hip vibration, but in a more subtle way. So connect, and then you come in. So basically, this is like I'm up against this obstacle, so I just release that and let everybody see my coming in. So there's two things. There's my upper body doing this. So my upper body is advancing in the unit, so this can be a strike, so this could be basically feeling like that. But there's also my lower body that is doing this. So this and this are so a lot of times we don't really think about what our legs do. We think about what our hands are doing, and our legs are just kind of down there making space. But there's so many movements, there's so many things that you can do where you're kind of finding connection with your partner, or just connection. So your legs can have the same sensitivity as your arms do in how you kind of connect. So I would say in this movement, think that they're equal. Like as I come in with my center and my upper body, I'm also coming in with my lower body. Boom. Boom. And then I'm hitting that and knocking the center out of the way. Okay? Both things. That's it. Things. There's probably many different ways you can look at your karate, but I would say one definite way is it's a type of body awareness that would probably be very significant. When you're first practicing, your concern is can you get one hand to turn over, the other hand to turn up. So this is an investigation in body awareness. Can I have bilateral coordination when my hands are doing different things? So neurologically, you're kind of attuned to your body. I would say that all these type of movements want to sort of get you, like whether you're just practicing the minutiae of taking a step and feeling that sort of like subtlety in that, or if you're pushing off the floor into a punch, that's a component of that as well, technically. So And that would I would say that would never stop. Like for 50 years, I'm still feeling more things in my technique that I didn't feel 2 years ago. So that's a type of depth in your investigation, just as a type of body awareness. But body awareness is not just like your physical body, it's also sort of your psychological state. So for instance, when you get really kind of myopic and like you're trying to solve a problem and the guy's coming in and you have that angst, you tend to be very here, sort of cerebrally, and you tend to want to do things with your hands because you're kind of uptight and it's all occurring in this sort of processing zone. Do you follow that idea?
Yes.
So in order to actually like feel your body, you have to get out of that. You have to get into that state where you're just kind of feeling the connection of the occurrence as opposed to the data that I'm trying to process. And that was sort of why I was saying when the guy comes in, like when he comes in, you can't really, you don't want to approach this motion with this feeling like that, like I'm reacting to it. You have to go, you just basically go in. The feeling is like, and when I just go in, and my perception is here, I'm taking in everything, including my whole body. Like I feel now, my feet, I feel this ability to have a connection down here. Because I'm not up here processing in this zone, but I'm down and I'm taking in everything globally, including my composition. So that when I'm moving, I have the sense of connection. So my lower body is available. Like I want my mind to be down at my feet as well as up here. So I have to put it over everything. And that's a perceptual thing. That's why I would say shoulder down, eye up, kind of look at an infinite point, and feel that sense of connection. That's kind of like your operating system. If you can do that, then you'll feel your body. Then you'll feel the minutiae of the movement of your body intuitively, as opposed to like intellectually. Okay?
Hi.
All right, let's sign up.